Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome, as it's that time of the weekend for Weekend Warriors to get kick-started here on Apex Racing TV. From Australia last week, tonight we head to the Mojave Desert in the USA at the iconic Willow Springs International Raceway for a double header this evening. I'm Tim Cox, got Samuna Kume in the virtual production trailer. Charles Bashar, as always, joins me very shortly. Let's just have a quick run through the championship standings with Spec 1 first of all. And Christian Kabanka leads the way, our reigning champion. Simon Ball lies in second. Missing a few drivers this evening due to a slightly large race also going on, virtual race that is, going on in America this weekend. Jason Green third, then it's McConnell, Harris, Aero Norm on his one and only race, really banking the points there. He's back with us again this evening. He's sixth in the championship with Jason, Simpson, Parrish and Hendrickson rounding out the top 10. Across into Spec 2 now, and Chris Montgomery, who's looked like a real force to be reckoned with some scintillating qualifying performances and race performances to back it up as well, but just lacked a little bit of consistency. That's why he's not that much clear of Trenton Kramer in second. Stevens lies third, Cristiano Glorio, Fernandez, Guard, Ferris, Ledbacker and Payne rounding up the top 10 there. Cross into Masters category, and well, there you go. Jorg Marni, what can we say about this guy? Kicked off the season with a second overall and class victory. A winner last time out at Oran Park. Antonio Race, though, he's had a second overall. It's been there or thereabouts, and maybe just a little bit more, a better result in round one might have just put him closer to Marnie. DeGassius in third. There's Murakami, Nelson, Walbolt, Cathcart, Ray, Brewster, and Soms to complete the top 10 in that championship. Charles Bashal, welcome along, and about 24 cars, which isn't bad considering another race that's been going on this weekend. And we might be in a desert, but I get the feeling we're not going to be dry on action this evening.
No, Tim, you're absolutely right. This is when the schedule came out and I saw it. I circled this weekend because the last two seasons we've been here, I think, with both cars, and they have provided us with some amazing racing, some fantastic finishes. This track and these little, I think the single make aspect of this along this track. It's just, God, it's just fun to watch. And these guys really work hard. This track is not the easiest thing in the world, but it's pretty forgiving for provided we don't see the cartwheel coming down the front straight. Generally you can make a mistake out in the dirt and bring it back in. There are some places where that's not going to happen, as we see them coming through up into balcony, which is, God, I still haven't figured that place out yet. But anyway, no, I'm really looking forward to this. This is becoming one of my favorite tracks to watch the Weekend Warrior Zone, and I just think it's going to be a fantastic race tonight.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've had a bit of an epiphany with this track. Never liked the place. Rubbish at driving it. Never thought there was that much action around the place until it came to iRacing and we witnessed the Weekend Warriors here. And it completely and utterly flipped my perspective of this track. As you said, I mean, we've had nothing but great racing here, and it's the finish we had last season in this spec race of Fords was absolutely epic. As Aaron just goes onto the pole there by half a tenth of a second over Christian Cabanca. And, well, of course, we saw that great big cartwheel down the start-finish, as you alluded to, as McConnell goes fastest. Hello, that's epic from him.
Really, absolutely. That's a great lap. Yeah.
I mean, he's...
Yep, go ahead.
I mean, a tenth and a half covering our top 4 spots.
Yeah, I mean, it's I think these drivers, now that they've been here a couple of times, are starting to get adjusted to the track, and so those lap times are tightening up, especially up into the front of the field. As we can see, God, you got to watch out for those curbs. Come on, Michael. You got to watch out for those curbs. That is the one drawback to this track. Those curbs will absolutely destroy your car and put you out of the race, so you have to be very careful. But yeah, it's an old school track. And like I said, I think these drivers are really starting to get the feel for it, and so I think even the lap times are faster this season than they were last. So it's just it's going to make for a really great race. And I'd like you said, I know that it's been a pretty busy weekend. I know I've been up for 29 hours. Oh well, not quite 29 hours, but I think I got 3 or 4 hours of sleep in that 29 hour time frame with my team. But this is one again, I'm not going to miss this because, like I said, it's been fantastic since we've been here. So this is just going to be another day of a fantastic doubleheader.
Most certainly is. Most certainly is. But just under 3 minutes left in qualifying before the checkered flag comes out, and just having a look down through the field. Spec 2 looking very, very spread out. Montgomery top of the pile. I mean, we've said that so regularly this season. Lorio second in class, and then we've got Payne just behind him in third. Some 600ths of a second separating those two. Montgomery looking at, well, if you could translate it into race pace, looking very, very comfortable for that one. As for our Spec 1 drivers, well, only the 5 of them this evening, so you guarantee a top 5 finish.
There you go.
Let's look at the got to look at the positives that way.
That's right.
Jason inverted commas doing the least favourable of them. He's down in 9th, however, only as Tom Laurie's having a bit of a moment there, as I could testify, and I'm sure you can too, Charles, as well. Having a bit of a moment out of this track. So they're all looking relatively compact and tight within Spec 1, and McConnell, if he can hold on to that pole position, he's going to be one very happy bunny. But 4 different nationalities making up our top 4.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, hang on a second. Well, I'm catching 3 there. So two U.S., one Swiss, and 1 Estonian.
Now I've got Christian Cabanca down as this is testing my knowledge of flags here.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
Are you seeing a USA flag?
I'm seeing a USA flag on my end. Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing something slightly different to which I'm not sure on the nationality, which I'm really angry with myself about. But
I see it. I see it on the driver's panel there. Is that Costa Rica?
No. But either way, he's just gone fastest by 9 thousandths of a second.
Wow.
With the fastest sector 3 of anyone so far. Getting a lovely little toe from your money. I think that probably might have just helped him a little bit. Antonio Race moves up for the field. Jeff Jakeson simply improves from 9th to 5th there. It's all this seems to be changing a little bit. You know, qualifying always used to be, by the time we came on air, that was it, pretty much done and dusted. It used to be us waffling, but it's changing around constantly in the last stages over this course of this season. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. We're going to see anyone else rise through the ranks. Well, well, there you go. Jason Green up a spot into 5th, swapping around with Jacobson there. It's all happening. It's all happening.
All happening. It's it's, I think they're building up their momentum and they're getting some finding some draft partners to get that little run down the front straight. So yeah, it's we're just kind of flipping and adding a couple hundreds here and there every time they come through. So yeah, it's been a very interesting qualifying.
I'm just typing furiously to show. Hold on. Oh, I have a flag for you, Charles. No, I need to create a free account to view it. I'll pick that one out. Saint Martin.
Saint Martin. Okay.
By my calculations, so a lot of drivers heading into pit road. There's was that L'Oreal Kramer? I just spotted. It's moving up through the order. A bit of disappointing from Trenton Kramer. I mean, I say disappointing. He's still 17th. However, 5th in class, and for the driver running 2nd in the Spec 2 Championship, probably hoping he would have been a little bit closer in terms of pace to Montgomery, who's 8th overall.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's I think he would much rather been up a little bit closer to the front. Sorry about that. I just kind of got lost there for a minute. Sorry about that, Tim.
That's all right. You've been up 29 hours, Rod, so
Yeah.
we'll let you off. Right. I'm sure if you start snoring mid-broadcast, I'm sure something will be killing your mic instantly.
No. Once these drivers get kicked off, I think it'll be action-packed from start to finish.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure it will be indeed. As we wait to transition across any second now into the race server, they're going to bring up your grid for this evening. As we head across any second now. There we go. You can see the flashing of the images, the change of the camera angle denoting it. As run for our runners and riders, we saw Christian Kabanka taking pole at the depth there. He starts next to Michael McConnell, only 9,000ths of a second separating those two. Of course, we've got a long pace lap here, so we've got plenty of time to enjoy this. Aeronom and Jorg Marni make up the second row of the grid. And an all-European row, interestingly, followed by an all-American row in form of Jason Green and Jeff Jacobson. Continuing the race, 2nd in Masters. It starts next to the top qualifier in Spec 2. It's Chris Montgomery on row 4. Then all Masters row 5. And your top 10 completed by Christopher Okami and Alan DeGassius. Tim Stano and Gary Walbolt show row 6. Whilst row 7 it's Andrew Love and Arthur Lorio. Brad Cathcart. Good morning to you, sir. Up in the crack of Sparrows, as always, to come and race here in the Weekend Warriors. He starts next to the Canadian David Payne. Row 9 is Trenton Kramer. Maybe a bit disappointed with that one. He's next to Tom Laurie. Paul Stevens and Jimmy Littbacker round out the top 20 and row 10 of the grid. Jim Brewster, I mean, scintillating last couple of seasons and might be a little bit disappointed this season. Just hasn't seemed to have got going for the American. Oh, he's in good company next to his good friend and fellow countryman Stevie Ray on row 11. Maud Human and Dana Bowes, newcomers to the series. Great to have them on board. They're going to share row 12, the final row of the grid. I see there's a bit of debate up here. Saint Martin or Philippines as for the flag for Christian Kabanka.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking also. I did do
yes. No, I'm seeing there's more of a yellow star in it rather than they are very. And also, I've had a bit of a moment. Saint Martin, it's white, same as that flag, but the top half is reversed effectively. So it's red on the top, blue on the bottom.
Well, I think we've learned something today.
We did.
We don't know our geography. So.
No. It's like a really poor episode of any everybody's fans of Big Bang Theory. Fun
Yeah.
with Flags with Sheldon Cooper.
There you go.
But the Apex Racing TV, slightly incorrect, but got there in the end version.
Yeah, there's a similar an older American TV show called "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?" So that was always one of those that was would baffle you.
Getting stuck into tonight though.
Yeah.
How do you think this was going to play out? Who's your favourite? Let's put you on the spot.
You know,
it's tough, isn't it?
It is. Obviously, these guys that are running up front on the pole, but you know, these cars draft obviously not as well as the spec racer, but they still get a good tow down the straightaways. So you'll see. I think we're going to see a lot of that. You know, P2 to P1 lap after lap, as long as they are staying together. So may see a nice big draft train, but I don't want to call anybody out because I've had enough of the commentator's curse, and I'm afraid of it at this point. So we'll just say, okay, we'll see who wins at the end of this. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race, no matter who wins. And of course, I'm going to always root for the Masters guys. So so we'll just kind of watch and see how it all unfolds.
It's going to be a fascinating battle. I know you've got Yogmani in fourth, but then you've got a gaggle of them together, 8 through 17. It's only 4 of them that is not a Masters driver.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be an epic scrap for the best. I mean, let's assume that Green and up to Kabanka will clear up into the distance. They're all going to be scrapping for 2 podium places, and that's going to be fascinating to watch.
Yeah, and then we got the next group of 4 or 5 down through there from Laredo down to Litbacka to see if they can make up some spots and try and challenge Montgomery and Stano up the front for the class Spec 2.
Well, good news. We're back onto the front straight away. Porsche 911 safety car is in. Now let's get ready to go racing from Willow Springs International Raceway as we wait an enduring amount of time for the lights here. Kabanka control is waiting for them as we are green and we are racing here in the desert, and up to turn 1 we go, and Degassi is getting a great start. They're already up 2. Kramer making progress, he's at 3, and also Brewster up 3 as well. More Human from the back is making it places. They're 3 wide in the background through turn 1. People jockeying for position, trying to find a little bit of space now. So they just get settled down into things, and well, got away cleanly there, Charles. That's the crucial part. But for a large part, from the midfield downwards, there's still 2 by 2.
Yeah, that's part 1. Part 2 is getting through balcony cleanly. So we're going to see this now, as we already see a couple cars off Murakami.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
It's back to the field a bit, but I tell you what, I'm surprised where he came back onto the track there through no fault of his own that there was not more carnage.
No, yeah, absolutely no. He just got up on the side of that little hill there, and the car just came right back down, jumped over the curb. And we talked about this with over the past couple of seasons. These curbs are what I would say are old school, is they have a little bit of rise on the racing edge, but on the on the outside edge, it's basically just a 4-inch riser. So when it's not too bad going off, but it is horrible coming back on.
Andrew Love there, just finding the rally cost line, is trying to keep the momentum going down the hill, even through the dirt and the sand here at Willow Springs. Chase for the lead. Norm is ahead of Kabanka. So that's 3rd to 1st for the Estonian in the opening lap. A solid result from him. Fastest second sector of anyone to boot 2. That's where he really made some progress. So there's Kramer. Just wow, he's had a great start. Really paid dividends. Caught that traffic from Murakami coming back across the track right, and in doing so, he's up 9 spaces. And more crucially, look who's behind him. It's one Chris Montgomery.
Yeah, he whatever he did, he made the right moves at the right time to jump up in front of Montgomery. So now he's just got to fight him and hold him off. Just for another 37 minutes or so. So we're going to see, if he's able to do that. He was also in our SCCA race on Tuesday and had a couple of really good results as well in the Formula Ford, Formula V race, as well as the Spec Racers on Tuesday nights with sprint races. But he's had really good form the entire season.
Yes, and just looking at this top group, on board with McConnell right now, Kabaka just in front of us, Marnie just behind, and this train stretches all the way back to Jeff Jacobson. He had to go to a good start, but he's falling by the wayside. He might come off track, and that's the switch around for the lead. Kabaka just up the inside, and I'm just yielding that a little bit, and I think just playing the safety game, and maybe even... because strategy always a crucial part of these races. Maybe just thinking about that one. Doesn't want to lead too much, as we've got 79 degrees there in freedom units. That translates to 26 degrees in, well, do you know what the C stands for? It's not Celsius, it's correct units.
Is that right?
It is. It is.
Right.
So I've been reliable before. Oh, I heard it the other day and I thought, yes.
Yes.
Okay, getting back all the Americans with that one.
That's fair enough. That's fair game. So yeah, I don't know why we stick with that, but we're stubborn people. But we'll stay with it with 79 degrees and 26 centigrade. And as we're watching Jason Green as they're coming around turn 8 and turn 9, it's just basically you're just flat out through here. It's just a matter of just getting the line right to get this run and just holding all that speed to run back down the front straight. Just fantastic racing. See him run a little wide. That's okay. Slow you down a little bit with the off-track physics. So he may lose a spot there, but he'll be right in line to battle it in the next lap.
That's a lovely little move around the outside there for Antonio Race, getting him up into 6th, and playing the hands of Kramer and Montgomery a little bit there. So we see another move emerging. That's Degassius versus Staino. Degassius currently like 3rd in Masters at the moment. Staino also 3rd in his class 2 in Spec 2 as well. Although he has got the, well, ever progressive South African behind him that is more human. He's up an incredible 12 spots from the back of the grid into 11th. What an opening couple of laps from him. I mean, he was with another driver like Kramer who really benefited from the cacophony of chaos that Murakami caused from coming back across the track. But you've got to be there, and I know it's a bit of luck, but also, right place, right time, and making your own luck as well.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to be cautiously aggressive when you're trying to go through traffic like that, because it's really easy to get caught up in it and then ruin your race and potentially other people's races. But he did obviously a fantastic job of navigating through, moved all the way up to P11 from starting shotgun on the field. As we see Monty and Racer now together at P4 and P5. We're looking at Gary Woolbolt there. Also David Payne. So yeah, I know Staino's just kind of looking as he's getting by Degassius now. He's kind of looking up ahead and said, hey, I've got the 2 guys that I'm challenging for Spec 2 just in front of me. I'm going to see if I can make some time up and get up there and battle with them.
4 seconds though, Charles. I know we've still got a large chunk, and but scrapping away in epic style with Degassius like this, and Cuban saying, I want to be part of this party here, trying to move right around the outside. Needs to be careful. I mean, that corner, it reminds me it's very similar to Druids at Brands Hatch. Spin! It's collected. Oh, not once but twice. Oh, yeah. Stevens, that Staino really collected there, and wow, Staino surely damage to his car and falling down the order. So there is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if that might have been some wheel-to-wheel contact, or if he just got loose. But yeah, I see Human go through there. And yeah, you're just in the middle of the track. There's nothing you can do about it. If you move either direction, you're probably going to pick up somebody anyway. So he did the right thing. He just held the brakes, and then there was not enough room for people to avoid him. And so they get caught up in it as well. Come in and take his fast repair.
We'll get home. Oh, will he? I mean, it's a bit nip and tuck, Charles, but at 7.5 minutes into this race, there's a possibility with a little bit of clever fuel strat from Stevens, he could get home without stopping again, potentially.
Yeah, that'll be a tough ask. I mean, we're talking about just at the 8-minute mark here. I don't know. I don't think we've ever seen anybody. I think we did last week, but that was such a aero dependent race that they were able to stretch that to like the 34, 35-minute mark in the spec racers. I don't think you can do that with these cars. I think he's just going to be, unless he does some massive fuel saving and lifting and coasting, I think he's probably going to have to come back in and take another stop.
Meanwhile, the battle up front still progressing. Cabanca leads from Nom. Marnie, your leader in Masters, lies third overall. Then it's McConnell third in class in Spec 1 in fourth. Race second in Masters as Marnie, well, not just content with third, going for a second here. Gets the move done even ahead of the corner. Up the inside of Nom. Beautiful start, and Race trying to instantly reply to follow him through. Can't quite carry enough momentum as Nom shuts it down. I saw that was McConnell, apologies, not Race, who was trying to look right around the outside there. But yeah, Race might be a little bit despondent just seeing Marnie just making that bit of progress, having been just tucked up right behind Marnie, but only, what, a lap or two ago.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Race is seasoned enough veteran that he's going to say, okay, excuse me, I couldn't get it this lap, I'll get it next lap. And, you know, and of all the people on track that we know is not fuel saving, that would be one Mr. World we've talked to him enough to know that he said, no, I can't do that. I'm just going to race as hard as I can race. And so that's what he's doing. Obviously, we'll be looking at Jason Green here, you know, as we're talking about the fuel saving strategy, as he's sitting there in P6 at the back of this little train, which is exactly where he wants to be.
Ironically, set the fastest lap, and I think last time around, and I think that's the second time he's held fastest lap so far this race. I'm not sure if he had a third potentially, but definitely two so far. Like fourth in class, as you mentioned, 6 overall, and what's happening behind them? Well, Kramer and Montgomery sort of working a little bit situ together, although their pace is only matching while sitting in situ. There's Montgomery leapfrogging ahead of Kramer. Well, how much longer do these two, well, either work together or, I mean, it's not out of the realms of possibility. If they can nail the fuel strat, they could catapult themselves up a few places overall. And let's remember, points in the championship are calculated by your overall finishing position and not your class finishing position. So
yeah,
there's still a shot, a really strong position here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want to make as many positions as you want as you can, and it doesn't matter which class. I think the class positions, basically, we talk about it just because I think it's bragging rights for these drivers, right? So yeah, I might have finished fifth, but I beat everybody else in my class. But then you get to fifth place points also. So yeah, it's, you know, they're going to keep battling. I think Montgomery, now that he's back in front, he'll want to try and dictate the pace a little bit. I don't think Kramer's going to play that game. So I think this may be an ongoing battle for the next 30 minutes or so.
To highlight the progress that Kramer and Human have both made so far. But Chris Murakami, well, just stick with this battle right now. Martin's just, wow, there you go, up the inside of Cabanca to take control of things off, heading on to lap 9 at Willow Springs. McConnell unable to make any progress. He had a good look as well at Nom. It's just running wide in the background there. I think that's Kramer who's back in front of Montgomery. Those two switching positions around it again, but losing a little bit of time, about half a second they've lost from that battling. And I think maybe a bit of realization coming in there as there's Aurelie Pitter, Stevie Ray.
I was going to say, there's a good indicator of when the pit window's open. Stevie Ray's in the pits now.
And Human as well.
And Human as well, yeah. So maybe he's thinking the undercut's going to be a good call. Cathcart's in as well. Maybe this is. I think Human might have been involved in that incident with Stano. So maybe he just kind of rode out the damage to his car until he knew he could get home safely, which is probably a good strategy. and so maybe that's why he's in now. We see
Oh,
human. Oh, or he's off the
that's
track.
why.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's at the final corner, so that's why he's elected to come in. Oh, wow, that was a little bit close. There
Yeah.
is that. Couldn't quite catch you. That was then coming through. I think that might have been David Payne potentially with Brewster. It's back up front. Well, some change again. Kabanka ahead of Marnie this time. Everyone else remains the same behind. And again, Kramer and Montgomery just leaves another couple of more attempts on this lap. Yeah, I was saying about the progress that Kramer and, well, Human had made until his stop. And, yeah, he's got back out going again. That's good news. But Chris Murakami, after that incident we saw on lap 1, fell to about 22nd, I think was where he fell to, Charles. He's now all back up into 11th.
Yeah, he's obviously done a really good job of working his way through traffic. Obviously, we've seen Chris; he's usually at the sharp end anyway, so it's no surprise that he's able to kind of cut his way through the Spec 2 drivers and even some of the Masters drivers. So he's obviously got the car headed the right direction, got some good pace. So we'll see if he can make up. He's right behind Jacobson now. They've got about a 3.5 second gap up to P9. So it's going to be tougher sledding from here on out for Murakami.
Yes, it's going to be well, interesting. Not just a little bit wide there. That might cost him a little bit of momentum and give McConnell the opportunity to attack, or maybe even not. Maybe they're just going to remain exactly as they are, line astern. It's definitely settled down this one, hasn't it? 14 minutes in.
I think with the exception of with this battle right here, Montgomery and Kramer, I think, yeah, the front six seem like they're okay where they are, but I think Quentin Kramer and Chris Montgomery are still going to battle. I think that, they're going to keep this battle going as much as they can. And I guess it's a little bit of a detriment because obviously the more they're side by side, the more time they're going to lose to the front group. So we'll see if they keep, side by side, or if they can work together for a few laps, maybe make up some time.
You say that, Charles. They were a tenth quicker than the lead pack last time around, and Montgomery's just set the fastest sector 1 of anyone.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think if these two can work together, I don't think that the ones up the lead 6, I think they're still battling a little bit. I don't think they're just quite settled yet. I know obviously we talked about Race wanting to try and make up a spot or two to get a little bit closer to Monty. So I'm sure he'll be trying to get that run down the front straight to maybe make a pass as we see them side by side. Monty going back to the lead or attempting to.
He's going to get that one done as well. As these two have swapped around again. Kramer now ahead of Montgomery once more, and it's wow. Then instantly that looked a little bit tight from that camera angle. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it was absolutely tight. Yeah, it just seems like Montgomery. I mean, Kramer was getting a really good run on the front straight, but it seems like Montgomery's car is just a little bit better through turns 2 and 3, and he's able to just carry that much more speed.
Yeah, definitely stronger in sectors 1 and 2 is Montgomery, whereas Kramer seems to have it set up. It seems to be better, just getting a much better run, certainly coming out of that final corner in comparison. I know the slipstream will play a little bit of a part in that. It's almost like if these cars had more wing, you'd say Chris Montgomery's carrying more wing. But he doesn't, so they don't, so he can't. And is that Kabanka going to have a size up a move? Just lifts out the throttle once more to get back on the power and blending it in.
I mean, you could just kind of see these cars are they're basically just flat out. They just put their, from once they get, what's the name of that corner, Wings leg back over there. Once they get to that little twisty bit section, they get to the entry of turn 8. I mean, it's basically their foot's on the floor until they get into turn 1. And then you can kind of massage the power through 2 and 3 as you're working your way up the balcony. So you can just see these drivers are just going flat out the entire basically from turn 8 all the way into turn 1, and you can just see how much speed they're carrying, and they're using every inch of the track, and then a little extra sometimes.
You know, if you've got X's to use, may as well bear a few of them to keep that momentum, keep that pace up.
They don't carry over, so I mean, you might as well go ahead and use them while you've got them, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. It doesn't affect your safety rating, so we're
exactly.
all good here. We're all
absolutely
good.
Yeah.
So on board with your Barney. Oh, this is going to be brave to go for a move here. You don't tend to see them there. As Kabanka, well, maybe caught a little bit unawares.
Yeah. Let's see what happens here. Just lifting just a little bit there, just to try and get the nose set for turn 9 to get to that apex, which is just dangerous. Just, you could kind of see it from the cockpit view. It was a great view from Simula there, but there's a little dip in the apex of that corner, so you just have to be just about right in order to make the speed work there. You carry too much, or you get too deep into it, and you're into that curb, and it's going to kick you back out wide. Obviously, like I said, there's enough of the runoff on the outside on a lot of these corners where you can save the car safely, but still, you just don't want to mess with those curbs. They're just deadly.
Talking of which, I think we may have had our first retirement of the day. Morn Human, after the electrifying start, has jumped to the pits. He's come off track twice in very quick succession. Actually, no, twice in corresponding, adjoining laps. So that's not looking good for him. And I think that's him done. That's gutting for the South African.
Yeah, a great start, and obviously just not the ending that he wanted, for sure.
That is for certain. That is for certain. And again, guess who's just set the fastest Sector 1 of anyone in this lap?
Trenton Kramer, Chris Montgomery.
Wow, you picked a safe bet in some ways, but Samulia got it smack on. Chris Montgomery.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, these two swap around again for the infinite amount of time.
Yeah, I think it's just it's kind of part and parcel of these cars. Is you get a nice, good long straightaway, and there'll be some positions exchanged over the course of it. But with every pass, you have to make sure the pass is clean, and you got to get the move done and get back in line. Otherwise, we start adding more and more drivers to that train, which is what Montgomery and Kramer are trying to do. They're trying to get back up there to make that a 8-car battle, because the more they get in there, obviously the more likelihood there's going to be some kind of incident. It's they're still just running around. Even back here, we're looking at P10 and P11. I mean, there's still battles going on all over the track.
There is. See Payne just at him, but he's broadened this battle of the rear of the group now. Murakami just behind Jacobson, and then Brewster involved in it too. Of course, Brewster up 9 spots now to his position climber with one Trenton Kramer, although Kramer and Montgomery, they keep swapping around at that F. Oh, no, well, there you go.
No.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
He said about the person, the commentator, how they're having a lovely little battle there.
Yeah.
And now they're both gone, and well, is this going to be an ambitious move from Murakami late on the inside? It was. Was it there? Just a little touch.
Yeah, just a little wheel touch. And then, hey, Murakami found some of the very few barriers that are around this track. So it's very sad to see. That's not the way you want to end the race. You'll get it towed. It won't be a long tow, but obviously he's probably out of contention for anything at this point.
I'm still debating whether the people down at which is in front of that barrier there, if one of them was wearing a Christmas, like a Santa hat. Oh, look back a little. Oh, no, he's going to collect him. He did indeed.
No.
And who was that he collected?
That was Kramer. Trent Kramer.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So coming round to lap them. Well, talking of Christmas, it's all of Chris Montgomery's Christmases come at once.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he spun right in front of that battle, and Kramer went left and Montgomery went right, and Montgomery was correct, unfortunately. So Kramer, but luckily hasn't lost a lot of time coming into pit cycle. Mid part of the race, he can come in and get his fast repair, take his repairs, and get his fuel. So obviously, it looks like the battle's not quite over with just yet. He might have a little bit of time he's got to make up here to catch back up.
Well, because that's Montgomery come in with him, Charles. So they've pretty much, they've come in together. And Montgomery didn't look particularly fast as well. I'm not sure if he'd slowed up a bit because he was enjoying the battle a little bit too much there. And that's a fascinating battle. The top two in the Spec 2 Championship. Montgomery still stationary, but then his pit box was further down. And interestingly, he comes out behind.
That's weird. I'm not going to lie. That's a little strange.
He was stationary 2 seconds longer. But then Kramer has probably sat behind maybe a little bit more. Sat behind Montgomery compared to Montgomery being behind Kramer. So maybe that's a little bit of it. Marnie has just taken the lead from Kabanka once again. And look, he's done it in that same spot. He loves that overtaking move, doesn't he? Just coming into the final corner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think maybe he's pulling a page out of Megan Overstreet's playbook from the Spec Racer race last year, or last season, I should say. I think she was really, really good, just that inside line through there. So yeah, he's having a really good race. He's really got the car dialed in. And so it's just going to be Kabanka and Monty until we get pit stops, and I think that may or may not settle it. We'll see if everybody is clean through the pit cycle. It'll be basically who's taking the least amount of fuel. And right now of those 6, I'm betting it's Jason Green.
I'm going to guess at that one too. And talking of which, another fastest lap for Jason Green last time around. Donna Bowles into the pit lane there, the Canadian, just popping in from 14th position. And Kramer really has got the jump on Montgomery. 1.2 seconds the difference between those two after the pit stop. So Kramer just needs to bring that one home, looking strong in Spec 2. Fascinating. I mean, we're going to find out within the next 6 minutes, I would say.
Yeah,
as to how it pans out for this lot.
Yeah,
but I don't know how it's going to go.
I don't either, but I'm just kind of wondering. We're coming up on some lap traffic. We got Gary Wobolt, Stevie Ray that are a few seconds ahead of this group. So I'm wondering if that's going to precipitate maybe a couple of these guys coming in to keep from having to fight through lap traffic. So it'll be a very interesting strategy call. If somebody decides they don't want to wait until the very last lap to come in and pit, they may decide to come in as soon as they get to this group.
Well, the ideal situation would be to come out behind. Roughly where are we looking at? That you can see from the track map. That's sort of like this train that starts off in 15th place Paul Stevens and ends the 23rd place, ironically, Dana Bowes. Come out behind Bowes in that little pocket there. Or even behind Kramer and Montgomery. Although actually they would come out in front of them. But yeah, if they could come out behind them in that pocket, enough to them carry a bit of momentum, or even if they were to pit before them, then I think that's going to be surely the way to go. Other than that, I mean, surely it's going to be easier to pass lap traffic rather than come out in the middle of them and get stuck in a mid-pack battle.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. I don't think that. I don't think you want to get in there, but I think.
Hold on. Who's in second, and now who's in first?
Yeah.
Well, taking control of things here, and Antonio Race. Well, he's dispatched of McConnell, and now trying to get around Marley around the outside, going to tuck in behind him, or is he? Just trying to carry that momentum, that slightly wider line. It's coming alive, and I think this Degassius, Payne, and Laurie and Love all into pit road. Well, this is changing around a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that leaves a really big hole. So if you wanted to come in and do a really couple of fast laps before the rest of the field, you've got a nice gap between Jacobson and Kramer of about 27 seconds or so. And I think that's where a lot of these guys at the pit, that's where they're going to fall in. And so I think still you might want to have a partner when you come in, so you have a little draft help. But if they come in, if they can just they could come in, they'll be in a nice position where they can just kind of run their line and run their race and just go as hard as they can for the last 13 minutes or so.
While going hard, Charles. Chris Montgomery taking the lead of Spec 2 into 9th as well. There we go. Aaron on goes it alone. He peels off. I think he might have been listening to you there. But yeah, Chris Montgomery, fastest lap last time around. 1:23.3 for him. As now, look who's in control of things at the front of this pack.
Yeah,
Going when no one else, but where he hasn't gone before in this race, it is Antonio Race. Into the lead, taking control of proceedings, maybe happy with the fuel saving that he's done. Jeff Jacobson into pit road as well, but I know from speaking to Aaron on many times over the years, Charles, he's a driver, he doesn't care what anyone else does. He plows his own field, and right now I think that's exactly what he's doing. I think he's listening to your strategy, and he's just going to try and light up the time machines, maybe feel like he's being held up by these guys a little bit.
Maybe, and when the guy's 7.5K, it's hard to argue with his strategies. They seem like they pan out pretty well for the most part. So I'm not going to take any credit for what he's doing. But yeah, it's nice to race. He just took his time and it was patient and took advantage of the chances he had. He's able to work his way up to the front of the field, and now he can kind of set the pace and dictate when he's going to come in. And we'll see if anybody follows him when he decides to do it.
And it puts the pressure onto Marnie all of a sudden, because he's not only ahead of Marnie, but also ahead of Kabanka as well. They all come in bar Michael McConnell, interestingly. Green also into Kabanka, as that's Montgomery around. Oh, and that surely is going to throw away that lead, that win in Spec 2.
Wow. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, if we get, I'm sure Samueli's trying to work on a replay for us, but I don't think they were in battle, so it seems like that might have just been an error on his own.
Well, next thing caught up to one another.
Yep.
So Kramer ahead there. Does Kramer have a little? Oh, he just loses the rear.
Yeah, I think he maybe locked the front tires and just kind of spun the car. It just was really strange. It's like, all of a sudden the car is backwards, and then I think maybe Kramer got some contact from that.
Let's find out. No, it just snapped on him.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, just absolutely just lost the rear end of the car, and doesn't look like Kramer, if he's got any damage, doesn't look like it's anything major. So that was a great battle for those. We see another car off.
That's Jimmy Littbacker.
But, man, it's just a difficult place there. He's got to get turned back around. Luckily, it's a little bit of a slow area, so he can kind of, once he gets a gap, he can safely get back out
while
there.
we have that going on, Charles,
yep.
So McConnell into the pits, Nom in the lead, then it's Green. Nom getting a 2-second jump over absolutely everyone due to, he's stationary, a second less than Green, who in equal terms was about 1.2 seconds less of a stop compared to Race, Marnie and Kabanka. So Marnie and Kabanka have gone from batting for this lead to now being in 5th and 6th as Antonio Race loses the rear coming out of the final turn. And that's his race done and dusted.
Yeah, just too wide. And we haven't talked about that because they've been pretty much from nose to tail at the front. But, we talked about the inside of that corner with that little dip. The outside of that corner, basically just the camber falls away. So if you're on the outside line there, you have no support from the track, and you end up going wide more often than not. I think that's what happened there. Got over in the dirt, lost the rear, spun the car, and then that was pretty much the end of his battle up front.
It was McConnell came out of the pits in third, though Marnie has just jumped ahead of him. Has just seen throw a blanket over this slot. Payne, Brewster, Jacobson, he's on a bit of recovery here, trying to get his way through this group and trying to finish a little bit higher after earlier instances. Just pummeled him through the order despite a really strong late showing in qualifying from the American in the 40 machine. And well, just Brewster, who's he's on a good race. He's up 9 spots, having started 21st.
I mean, you kind of called him out at the start of the race, right? Just like he was had a great qualifying run, but he's been able to work his way up and get back up where you normally expect him to be. He's up there battling just right on the edge of the Masters class podium.
Connell now ahead of Marnie as the clock kicks down to 7 minutes remaining here from Willow Springs International. Coming up on the channel in right about an hour and a half's time, we're back again at Willow Springs for the SRFs. That's going to be a bit wet and wild. I mean, if you think this is crazy, and which it has been so far, well, what are we going to see later? I'm a little bit. I'm scared almost. I mean,
as
my anxiety cope with it.
Yeah, as I normally say when we have these doubleheader weekends, it's more cars and bump drafting to go along with everything that you're seeing now. So so I don't expect anything less for the next race. Like I said, we had just a fantastic ending to the race last season. So wouldn't surprise me if we saw a nice 45 car grid, even though we had a big race yesterday. Wouldn't surprise me if we had a nice 45 car grid and just those 6 car packs with now you've got them nose to tail and pushing each other down the front straight.
Right, so Nob's just set the last time around set the fastest sector 2 of anyone, so as is abundantly clear, he's not hanging around. 2.4 seconds the lead he's got over Jason Green, who's himself a further 2.4 seconds ahead of these two. We can see scrapping away is Marnie and McConnell. Kabanka, he's closing though, Charles.
He is indeed.
He's only 9/10 behind.
Yeah,
is he going to run out of time? I don't know. Well, it's going to be close.
I don't know. It's going to be close. If you get to him, I feel fairly confident he's going to be able to get up there. What he's going to be able to do once he gets there is a different story indeed. And so I think these guys are just you would think that once this group gets together and it's 3, that maybe they can start kind of working nose to tail and making up some of that time up to Jason Green, but it hasn't really happened yet.
I mean, I think catching Green is out of the equation. A mistake from the American in the 160, as that's David Payne off the circuit. Well, not to get it beached when he came back onto the track, but he's dropped places to Brewster, Jacobson, and that's Andrew Love just heading on through now into 13th, back to where he started this race. Okay, and we question, could Christian Kabanka catch Marnie and McConnell? Half a second now, Charles. He's taken half a second out of him and just got the fastest lap of the race to boot as well.
I think the answer obviously is yes, right? So he's right there now. So like I said, as I know you like to talk about the former F1 commentator very often, right? Catching them one thing's past them something completely different. Is that what he used to say?
That absolutely smack on. Yes, I've ingrained that into your mind well and clearly.
Exactly. Yeah. So so now it's just a matter. Obviously, he's got the pace to make up the gap. So he's just going to look for that draft down the front straight, see if he can pick them off one at a time, and see if he can get back up to that podium.
Wow. I mean, it's 3 drivers, 1 spot on the podium overall. Marnie will be looking at, I don't know if he will be looking at this in the case of, I might play it safe here, and I'm leading my class. But as you said earlier, it's that bragging right. As there goes McConnell up the inside, 3 minutes left on the clock. So by my calculations, they've got this lap and 2 more laps based on where Nom is on the track.
Yeah, I think that's right. I have to agree with that. So yeah, so now you've got Kabanka looking to get the jump on Monty, and obviously they've already been battling throughout this race. So he knows what Monty's going to do, and I'm sure Monty's thinking, all right, he's going to try and make a move here, and so I'm going to have to either let him go or defend it. But then when I defend it, we may lose touch with McConnell. So it's a very difficult situation that you've got to put in.
Yes, and as much as they are nose to tail, I think this could be a last lap scramble between these three. And you keep alluding to it, that brilliant finish we saw in the Spec Racer Fords. Well, as you said last season, you did say last year and then corrected yourself, but you are actually correct. It was actually physically last year.
It actually was. You're correct. but it was also last season and last year. So we'll say that's the accurate way of saying it. And so yeah, it's just one of those that's going to be.
Oh, Charles, are we surely not 3 wide into turn one? Yeah, they're going to do it. Is it going to end in tears? Is Kabanka going to get a 2-for-1 deal into turn 1? Well, he just can't quite do it. Depends what momentum he can carry around the outside. And York Marnie, well, the winner of that battle, I didn't check. Is white flag out? I'm not sure it is. I think they might have one to go if they have. Here we go. Samueli's got the right angle. Eyes peeled, and they flashed back too quickly. I couldn't see.
I didn't see it either, but I think you are right. I think it would be white flag next time based on where Nom is on the track. He's already well and past the halfway point on circuit with 40 seconds left. So yeah, I think they'll get one more out of this.
Yes, there's Samueli. My eyes were peeled to the left-hand side as we had the on-board there. There was no flag in the air. So, Kabanka and Marnie swapping around. Well, hello, here we go. You'd think they're on the last lap already as they try and make it 3 wide, and they zip in together somehow, some way. A deep breath. Here we go.
Yeah.
1 lap, 3 cars, 1 place on the podium. Who gets it? Kabanka, Marnie, McConnell. As here comes McConnell up the inside, trying to storm it through into a 3 wide again. He backs out of it. You've got Kabanka on the inside, Marnie on the out, but that gives Marnie the inside into turn 2, onto the brakes. There's a spinner ahead, or is it just a lock up? I think it's the latter. They'll get away with that one as it's moving wide to the outside of the track. That's Tim Stano. Keep it out of the way of this scramble for the last place on the podium. As Marnie just getting the advantage now as we head into the twisty bits, the tight technical part of the circuit. But he's so defensive, Charles. This could cost him the momentum.
Yeah, it could, but he's managed to keep those other 2 cars behind him by running the defensive line. And he's able to get going back down the hill, and he's able to stay in that position. So now it's just basically turn 8 and turn 9, and now the front straight.
But could Kabanka pull the move on Marnie that Marnie pulled so many times on Kabanka? He's going to give it a good go, and he's going to make it stick as he gets to the inside. Can McConnell find a gap there? He can't. Marnie shuts that one down. As here we go. All over third. Nom's going to win it. Green's going to come second, but it's all about this battle for third and the run to the line. Are they close enough? Surely McConnell can't do anything here, but here comes Marnie. He pulls to driver's right at Kabanka. It's going to be a run to the line. I think he's just ahead, but here comes McConnell as they cross the line. It's Marnie, Kabanka, that as well. McConnell. I can't get my words out, Charles.
Yeah. I mean, it was 11 hundredths of a second between the 3 cars. Just an amazing race to the end there. And just, so that's what you expect. And you just get a good run down that, out of turn 9, down that front straight, and make the draft work for you. McConnell obviously gave it a really good try, tried to move to the inside, made Kabanka had to maybe jink a little bit over to the left to try and defend it. And was just not able to get up there, but man, made it really close.
it's really close, Charles, and there's what 11 hundredths of a second separating the three of them across the line. It's just, it still amazes me. You think we get used to a lot of it,
Yeah.
free-wise being just meh, whatever.
Yeah.
But and then even so, they still managed to pull out something that just confounds the mind of what you see before.
Well, I just Trent Kramer on the screen winning Spec 2, and he beat Alan DeGassis by 1 millisecond at the line.
Wow.
It's like it's just crazy. So yeah, this is what we come to expect. We enjoy it. I knew this was going to be a fantastic race, and it absolutely did not disappoint. And so we'll get this one done, and we'll get ready for the next one.
Well, I'm going to disappoint you, Charles, because it wasn't 1 millisecond. It was according to iRacing, it was 2.
I'm disappointed.
A yawning cavern in comparison. Aeronaut taking the victory here today from Willow Springs in the Formula Fords. Jason Green second. Marnie, winner in Masters, on the podium overall yet again for the second time this season, having won the class. Gabanka and McConnell narrowly missing out on the overall podium, but Gabanka picking up third in class. I'll tell you, a race that did work out after the pit stops for him, despite realistically leading when they came into the pit stops. He finishes 6th and, 11 seconds off the pace. Trenton Kramer, that victory, and up 10 spots in Spec 2. We'll be speaking to him very, very shortly. The Gassius in 8th, and it's Montgomery. That spin just hurting him and preventing him from fighting for honours at the top of Spec 2, although second in class. Then, apologies to Gassius as well, third in Masters. Failed to mention that one. Laurie Brewster, Love takes you up to 12th. David Payne rounding out that Spec 2 podium. There's Warbolt Ray Jacobson, disappointing from him. Lorio Murakami had a torrid time. Brad Cathcart, the first drivers to finish one lap down in 19th. So was Staino, Stevens, Bowes, and Lipbacker. Morn Human, the only retirement of the day. As mentioned, let's have a little chat to some of our drivers. Let's have a chat to Trenton Kramer, who, Trenton, not a bad race today, my friend. Up 10 spots into 7th from 17th and the class victory.
Yeah, that was a chaotic race, to say the least.
It seemed like that. I mean, just talk us through. Where you seemed to make the most progress was when Chris Murakami had that incident and came back across the track on the opening lap. Was it just pure luck and blind faith that you made it through, or had you got a bit of a contingency plan in place for something like that happening?
Yeah, I mean, going into turn 1, being on the inside, I had a really good jump on the cars ahead of me, so just kind of getting myself in position and trying to move my way up the order without trying to get too close to everybody else, because these cold tires they're really chaotic, especially on a fast track like this where there's a lot of load on the tires. So just kind of working my way up, and as soon as I saw Murakami mount the dirt embankment on the right side, just kind of held it to the floor and hoped, and everybody behind me got pinballed, and thankfully for me, I was able to keep up with the top 7 for a little while and run with them.
And while you were doing that, I mean, yourself and Chris Montgomery trading places but still matching pace with the lead group. Did you think that maybe you might have a chance of catching them, or for you was it just all about the battle with Chris Montgomery?
Early on in the race, it was like, yeah, we could absolutely keep up with these guys. I was within draft range, and we were just ever so slightly hanging on to the edge of them. But it was the fact that Chris and I started trying to do a little bit of leapfrog without any kind of communication. It turned into more of like a little bit of fighting, and that gave us just that little nudge we needed to get out of their draft. And after that, it was just focus on the class victory. And unfortunately, he had a moment where he missed a shift going up the hill, which is what caused me to take the lead back and put a 3 or 4 second lead on him.
And when he spun out, you must have been all your Christmases come at once, knowing that, do you know what, it was, yeah, this is it, mine to lose now almost.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit more pressure, especially with when he spun. There wasn't really much of anywhere that I could go. So we ended up actually knocking wheels together, and somehow neither of us got any wheel damage. So it was lucky for me, and I had Alan to run with until the end, and I got him just by a couple of thousandths, I think. At the end of
Yes,
the race.
2000s at the line it was.
Yeah.
Well, Trenton, congratulations. 7th overall up 10 spots, winner in Spec 2. That's Trenton Kramer. Charles, I'd say got Aeronom standing by.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a race winner, Spec 1 winner, Aeronom. Congratulations. The first half of that race was, I won't say it was sedate, but I mean, you basically were in a group of about 6, and it was kind of nose to tail, maybe doing a little draft swapping down the front straight. But then a great pit stop call by you got you out in the lead.
Yeah, before the quali, I put the setup in from, I think, Mosport, because I didn't feel like it in the practice. So the first race, half of the race, I was just practicing, learning the setup and the way to drive. So yeah, before the pit stop, I thought it's better to go in front and be safe. So yeah, that was the plan.
Perfectly executed plan. So is this your first time at Willow Springs, or you ran the track?
Yeah, I bought the track, I think, yesterday. So yeah, first time.
Wish I could do that. I'm jealous, to be fair. But no, congratulations to you. Obviously a fantastic victory, and we'll see you next time. So congratulations, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right.
Well, that was borderline depressing for us near normals, wasn't it? Really,
Yeah.
Yeah, just learning the track. I only brought it yesterday and didn't understand the setup, so I spent the race learning it while casually hanging in third. That's Aeronom for you folks, and that's just done from Willow Springs for the Formula 4s presented by Ray Esports. But we'll be back in just about an hour's time here on the channel, where we'll see the SRFs back in action. But for myself, Tim Cox, Charles Bashal, and Simili Kumo, see you in a week's time for the Formula 4s. Goodbye and good night.